Hey everybody, welcome to Prenatal Pilates. My name is Kayla. I'm in my third trimester, 29 weeks along, so just entered that third trimester. Today we've got a reformer focus class focused on our lower body, so we are going to be working those adductors, those inner thighs, hips, glutes, all of the lower body. You're going to need a power circle today. You're going to either need a box or a prenatal wedge. We will be reclined on our back at some point in class, so if you're not feeling comfortable on your back, you're really going to want that wedge, or I would recommend this class for just your first and second trimester. So we're going to get started with our footwork. You don't need your circle for a little bit. If you don't have a wedge, I would recommend doing footwork with your box. So I've got the box set up against the shoulder blocks here for support. Got my foot bar lowered down because obviously the belly's starting to get into the way, and we are going to begin with 2 full springs and a half spring. So for me, that's 2 reds and 1 blue spring. You'll go ahead and begin seated. I'm going to swing those legs up onto the foot bar. You want to nuzzle the small of your back up against your box. I want your toes to be on the foot bar, your knees open nice and wide. Go ahead and open them as much as you need to make room for that belly. And let's begin those hands wrapping around the front edge of the mat. Beginning with 3 big breaths here. I want you to inhale, sit tall. And as you exhale, contract your tummy muscles and feel the abs pressing into your box here. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, feeling that transverse abdominal connection as the tummy muscles tighten and you feel a little more connected to your box. 1 more breath, inhale. And exhale, preparing for that footwork position. We're gonna inhale up nice and tall. Now this time as you exhale, contracting those core muscles, you're gonna press back into your box. Sit up nice and tall, and then inhale, return the carriage back in. Exhale, pressing back into the box, straightening out those legs. Try not to let your heels drop. And if the belly isn't too much in the way at this point, depending on how far along you are, you might not get that carriage to come all the way back in at this point, and that is just fine. And again, depending on if you're using the prenatal wedge from PILATESBODY or some other sort of support system, if you're more reclined versus pressing back up against your box, just make note, everybody's range of motion will be a little bit different here depending on how far along you are. I want you to keep focusing on hugging baby and belly up and in, really working on our posture here. The weight of baby really pulls our pelvis in different directions. So utilizing your core to keep your spine nice and tall and leveraging that box here. And I want you to press out, hold those legs straight. You're gonna sink your heels under the foot bar. Really enjoy that stretch in your calves. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower, doing your best not to lean back in the box, but to, again, use the strength of your core to sit up nice and tall. Feel those shoulders right up over your sits bones here, and up nice and tall. Hold the navel up to the nose for 4. And 3, sitting tall through the spine, 2, and 1 more. We're gonna lift the heels, separate them, and depending on how big the belly is, we might need to march the heels out a little bit wider. I'll go ahead and bend your knees. Now my tummy is gonna get into the way. I'm not gonna be able to close the carriage all the way here, and extend out. You're staying on those toes, and I really want you to push through that big toe, keeping even weight through the entire ball mount of your foot, so we're not too rolled in on the big toe or too rolled out on the pinky toe. Again, exhale as you're pushing. Feel those tummy muscles draw in, keeping the weight even through that triangle of your sits bones and your pubic bone, making sure that you're not too rolled forward on your crotch or too far back sitting. Let's go 4. And 3, and 2, and 1 more. Hold it out here. Now I want you to lower those heels again with your feet hip width distance, and inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Inhale to rise. Calf cramps are really common, especially as you start to get into the third trimester towards the end of your pregnancy. So you really want to feel that stretch down, let the springs kind of do the work for us as we melt the heels under like quicksand, and then lifting those heels back up, really grabbing the foot bar with the toes. Last two, exhale and inhale. One more time, exhale and inhale, heels come up. I'm gonna bring the carriage in, and then I want you to march your feet out and then try to pull that carriage in as far as you can, letting those knees roll out a little bit wider, creating a little bit more space. Again, sit tall, avoid leaning back. I'll give me a big arm circle coming up and back, and then I want you to squeeze the side edges of the box for me here with a slight bend in your elbow. Really feel your upper back muscles activate as well. Deep breath in to prepare. Exhale, we're gonna press out. Inhale to close as far in as you can. Exhale, press away. Now, again, feeling that connection of the small of the back against the edge of the box, but again, not leaning back. We want to hold the upper back tall and strong here. So squeeze into the side edges of the box and feel like you're pulling your shoulder blades together. And let's go 5 and 4 and 3, 2, with those knees rolling out and the carriage coming in as far as we can. Last one. Get a nice opening through the hips, which feels really good. Now we're gonna bring the carriage halfway in, just to bring a little more energy into those legs. We're gonna pulse it all the way out. So it's halfway in and all the way out on that exhale, and a little quicker. Halfway, all the way, halfway, all the way. Sit taller here. 6. Don't forget to squeeze that box. 5, 4, pull those abs into the box. 3, 2, and 1. Hold the carriage out. I want you to flex your feet, maneuver your heels up to the corners of your foot bar. Your feet are still gonna stay externally rotated, and we're gonna add some movement through the hips here. So your knees are gonna be wide as the carriage starts to close in as far as you can. I want you to pivot the knees in as much as you can and then push back out. Roll open and close, internally rotate to push out. Roll the toes and knees open to close the carriage. Roll the toes and knees in to open the carriage. Now you can stay right here and just enjoy this movement and this swiveling around the hip joints. It should feel really good. We might add some arm movement to it. So as you're opening with those arms back, sorry, let's close here. Arms are gonna start at your side. Sit up nice and tall. Now as you're opening, the knees and toes go out and those arms are gonna circle around. And as the knees and toes roll in, the arms are gonna come back to your sides. Inhale, let's push out. Let that feel expansive now. So we just reverse the breath, bringing in a little bit more into the chest. Inhale, pressing out. We do have a little shoulder stability coming up in our next leg sequence. So we do want to get those arms ready for a little bit of stabilizing. We're not just only going to focus on the lower body, even though predominantly that is what our focus is in class today. Last 2. Exhale to close. 1 more. And exhale to close. Now we're gonna do the opposite, and we're gonna reverse those arm circles. So knees and toes are in. Adjust your heels if you need to. Make sure you can easily swivel and pivot. You're gonna reverse that arm circle. And as the carriage opens, you're gonna pivot those heels and toes out. Arms reach up. Knees are wide as the carriage is closing, and arms to your sides. Now pivot toes and knees in. Arms circle back. Sit nice and tall. Open the toes and knees as the carriage closes. Bring it together as you open, reverse that arm circle, roll the toes and knees out as your arms come down to your sides. 3, and exhale. 2, and exhale. 1 more, and exhale. Good, go ahead and bring the carriage in as far as you can. You might need to assist yourself off to the side here, swinging those legs up and over. We are gonna adjust the foot bar and bring it up a notch if you had it down to give yourself and your belly more space. And then we're gonna adjust the spring tension. So we're gonna be on 1.5 springs. So for me, that's a red and a blue. We're gonna adjust the box over the shoulder blocks now, giving ourselves just a little bit more room. Now here's where we're gonna add that upper body stabilizing. So you're gonna come to kneeling position. Elbows and forearms are down on the box. You want to think about goalpost here, the number 11. Fingertips can lightly just wrap around the back edge of the box. Bring your knees together. Now go ahead and bring your left heel onto the foot bar. You have to bring a little energy into your right side so your foot is floating up a little bit and doesn't get caught on the front edge of that reformer. Now make sure that your body weight doesn't sway over to your right. I want you to stay nice and centered. Squeeze your left glute and begin to exhale, push away. We really want to keep the energy in the lower body so we don't push into that box too much and that box goes sliding out from underneath us. Exhale, push, keep the hips square. Now focus on pulling that tummy up and in so we're not dropping or arching through the belly, and squeeze. Try not to lock or hyperextend out the knee. So I want you to get full hip extension, but that full hip extension is going to come from squeezing that left glute and hamstring. Drive those elbows and forearms down into the box. Keep moving here. Lift your chest and keep your neck nice and long so we're not dropping into those shoulders. And that's where we're going to feel that energy of pushing up and away. Here's 4. In 3, we're going to add a little pulse. 2, make sure the carriage comes all the way in with that light tap. And 1 more, extending out. Now you're going to come halfway in, all the way out. Push, bend, and press. 5 little pulses here. You've got 2 more. Woo, really feeling that left glute. And bring it back in. Beautiful. Now we're going to turn over so you're facing your left side. Your right elbow and forearm are going to come down to the center of the box. Elbow should be positioned right underneath the shoulder. Bring your left foot parallel on the foot bar. Your right knee is underneath your hip so your foot is swinging back. You're going to want to take your left hand down onto the box, otherwise the box is going to move. It's going to help stabilize you here. Again, you're going to really feel this in the right shoulder so you're not sinking down into that shoulder. You're pushing up and away. Everything is staying long here. Okay. Deep breath in. Exhale, we're going to push. Again, I want you to focus on pushing through that left heel so you feel that glute engaging without locking or hyperextending at that knee joint. Really focus on those abductors. Digging that right elbow down into that box. Holy buckets, I already feel that stability in that right shoulder. Keep moving, you got this. Give me 5 more. Exhale, push. Don't forget about the core. And 4. You got it. 3 and 2. Next one, we press all the way out and we add those pulses here. Halfway in, all the way out, halfway in, all the way out. Just 3 more. And 2. Push that elbow down, stay long, fully extend on 1, and close the carriage all the way in. Okay, we're on the home stretch here. I'm gonna do a little oblique work. So extend your top leg out nice and long, extend your top arm out nice and long. Give me a big breath in. On your exhale, bring elbow and knee together, squeeze in. Inhale to open, exhale to squeeze. Inhale to open. After all, this is Pilates. We need that strong core, especially to prepare us for labor and delivery, to safely exit that baby out of the womb. And here is 4. Exhale, squeeze into that top oblique. 3, 2, you got it. Last one. And return back down. Forearms on the box. Woo. Great job. Heart rate really gets up there. We're going to go into that second side, which means the right heel is on the foot bar. Knees are together. So you're kind of making a triangle with your elbows and your left knee. When you're ready, push down on the box nice and long. Take a breath in to prepare and exhale. Let's begin with those presses. Point your left toes so they don't get caught on the front edge of your reformer. Depending on the piece of equipment that you are, you might have a little bit more room than I do there. And that's just also going to bring a little bit more stability into that left side again. So it's not just hanging out. Everything is working. I'm going to keep total body engagement here. Really starting to build some heat. Let's go 6. And 5. Push down on the box. Try not to slide it out from underneath you. 4. Squeezing through that right glute. 3. Can you keep your neck long, chin off your chest, shoulders active? 2. And 1. Carriage comes halfway in, all the way out. Pulse it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carriage comes in. We're gonna quarter turn to your right side. Left forearm, elbow down on the box. Right toes come up to parallel on the foot bar. Right hand is on your box, stabilizing you. Chin up, eyes up, and press away. Inhale to softly close. Exhale, press away. Make sure you're driving that elbow straight down, not out, and you feel that stability in that left shoulder, very much so that we did on the right side. Here's 5 and 4. Beautiful. 3. Keep looking out, keeping everything nice and long. 2. Hug that baby up and in on 1. We've got 5 pulses here. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carriage closes all the way in. Now finish with that oblique work. Take your right arm up overhead. Stretch your right leg nice and long. Really feel that length through the side body. And then exhale, elbow to knee, squeeze. Inhale, try not to collapse in front. Squeeze up to the ceiling so everything is staying open. And 4. Beautiful. And 3. You're there. 2. And 1 more. Exhale in and return back to facing your box. Woo, great job, you guys. All right, so that's gonna do it with the box. We can go ahead and put the box away. Now we're gonna find ourselves on our back here. So here's where I'm gonna pick up my wedge. If you do not have a wedge, I would recommend propping your headrest up as high as you can and maybe adding a little pillow or towel underneath your head for support. You're also going to need your circle here. So I'm just gonna rest the circle against the side of the reformer so I can easily grab it when we get into the next position. We can go ahead and lower the foot bar down a half setting. If you need the foot bar to help you get your feet into the straps, you might wanna keep it propped up, okay? I am going to be on 2 full springs, so that's 2 red springs right now. When you're reclining down onto your back, if you're expecting, please lay to your side first, roll onto your back safely, and then go ahead and adjust yourself as feels necessary. And I want you to reach back for your straps. You're going to put your feet into your large loops. And go ahead and meet me in a frog position here. So your knees are nice and wide, heels are together, toes are open into a nice V, and let your head stay relaxed down, hands just gently at your sides. And we're gonna begin with some gentle frog presses here, extending those legs out and back in. Exhale as you press, and go ahead and bend back in. Exhale to press, and bend in. Beautiful. 3 more. 2. Really start to feel that inner thigh focus. And 1. Now go ahead and bring your knees back in. I want you to reach for your circle. You're gonna keep your feet together for a moment. You're gonna slip your feet inside the circle. Now I want you to press the circle on the outsides of your ankles, and you're gonna bring your hands to your outer hips here. We're feeling for our abductors or our outer glutes stability. I want you to start to turn that circle into an oval and go back to those frog presses. Now it's gonna feel a lot more wobbly, and if anything, think about kind of pressing your heels out a little more than your toes now. So you're in a little bit more of an internal toe rotation than an external toe rotation. So what that means is your toes might look like this, in and heels slightly out, so you can feel that abduction connection. And then when you come in, you're gonna be more into a wide squat position, classical squat position. And I like to see the straps and the ropes lining up with the shins and the kneecaps. And then focus on pushing out from those outer glutes. Whew, I really feel that. This is so good. Our hips and our pelvis get so unstable from creating space and moving for the baby and the growth of the baby, and then just our pelvis widening, preparing for labor and delivery. So a lot of times we can have hip pain and aches, so this really helps strengthen all those muscles. And a lot of times we find ourselves laboring on our hands and knees or in squatting positions. So this is really helping strengthen our legs and preparing, again, for that labor and delivery and building endurance in our lower body. Now take those legs out again here. I want you to really feel like you're pressing that circle out into an oval. You can keep your hands on your hips if that tactile cue helps give you more feedback into your glutes, or you can gently relax your hands to your sides. And I want you to exhale your legs up towards the sky, and then inhale, lowering them down. Try to keep that circle in the shape of an oval as you press those legs apart. I forgot to mention, if you don't have a circle, you could be using a resistance band or just using the power of the mind to activate those outer glutes. And we've got 4. Now do your best to not lock out those knees. If we lock out the knees, we tend to press out from the knees. So we want to, again, feel this in the outsides of the legs. 2. And 1 more. Exhale to lift. Now inhale, you're going to take it down about 45 degrees. Pull the tummy in, and we're going to do little pulses. Those hands might come back to those outer glutes as you pulse out 10, out 9, whoo, out 8, out 7, out 6, out 5, out 4, out 3, out 2. Hold it out on 1, and we're here for 10. Pull the abs together, but press that circle out. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Wowzers, really feeling that burn. Now you're gonna pull your knees to your chest and take the circle out. You're gonna open your legs, and we're gonna do the opposite. So we're gonna work the adductors. So the inner thighs are gonna begin to fire up as you position, excuse me, the circle in between your ankles, avoiding your ankle bones. Okay? Now again, we wanna be more parallel. You might have a little bit more of an external rotation, but again, I like to see those ropes and the straps lining up with the shins and the knees versus the straps all wobbly between the outsides and the insides of the knees. So that just helps make those presses a little more smoother. So I'm already feeling those inner thighs fire. I'm gonna extend the legs out and back in. Now, something I've been experiencing with my pregnancy is pubic symphysis. So pubic symphysis is where you feel like your pubic bone is being pulled apart or stretched, and you have discomfort in the top of your pubic bone, and you generally kind of feel a pulling or a sensation when you're walking or when your legs are opening. So what we're focusing on is trying to, again, pull the pelvic floor together here. So we're feeling a little bit of a stretch through the pelvic floor as the knees bend, but then I want you to squeeze that circle and feel that connection through the pelvic floor and inner thighs as your legs are pressing out. You're probably starting to feel the adductors shiver or shake a little bit. And let's do 2 more here, these presses, and we'll go to those lift and lowers next. Extend those legs out nice and long. Take a big breath in and exhale, squeeze that circle again and turn it into an oval the long way as you lift the legs up. And then inhale, lower the legs down. Squeeze the circle to an oval as you lift the legs up. And inhale, lower those legs down. So back to that pubic symphysis top. We really want to envision the pubic bone and the pelvis and those bones pulling together, because again, they're being so stretched, creating room for baby. So the more that we can draw them together, the more sensation that we're gonna eliminate of everything pulling apart. So anytime I do adduction work or inner thigh connection, I almost feel the pubic symphysis or that pain around the pelvis dissipate. 2, beautiful. And last one, exhale. We get that nice hamstring stretch at the top too, which feels amazing. Now we bring it down, hold everything together, and pulses in 10, in 9, in 8, in 7, in 6, in 5, in 4, in 3, in 2, hold it in for 10. Oh my gosh, shaking. 9, 8, 7, keep breathing. 6, 5, lift the belly. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Bend those knees into your chest. Oh my goodness, take the circle out. It's gonna sting a little bit. You're gonna come into a really wide frog here. I like to draw the soles of the feet together, let the knees roll out. This is just a really beautiful stretch for the pelvic floor. The sits bones is really drawing open here. Everything is releasing and relaxing, which we need for labor. We're gonna finish with a nice rocking or pelvic tuck. So as the belly gets bigger, the weight of the baby is pulling forward and we get more of that discomfort or lower back aching, supporting all of that extra weight into the belly. So you're gonna take your hands on your straps here. I want you to inhale to come forward. Let the heels and the feet almost drop down into the springs over the front edge of the mat. And you're gonna almost feel that natural curve return into the small of your back. And you should literally just feel like everything opening. It feels amazing. Now on your exhale, you're gonna pull those heels in. Hands are gonna come to those straps and just kind of guiding. I want you to do as much work from your core as you can. Like you're gonna almost do like a backwards somersault, and you're gonna feel that pelvis tucking on. There's so much that your core can do. And then I want you to guide those straps in and just give it an extra little pull up. Inhale, releasing it down. Letting the pelvic floor open, the hips open, the inner thighs stretch there. And then exhale, let's contract the core like you're doing a reverse tuck here. Exhale, lifting and assisting those straps in. That stretch feels amazing in both directions. Inhale to release it. And then exhale, pulling up and in from your core. And then let those hands assist you into a little bit bigger stretch. Last two, inhale and exhale. Beautiful. One more time, inhale and exhale. Do that reverse tuck as far as you can on your own. And then one last time, pulling in for that extra little stretch in those inner thighs. And let's go ahead and take those straps off your feet. Gently rest your feet down. Let your straps drop behind you. And then safely turn yourself to your side. Assist yourself up from that reclined position and up to your seat. Great job. Thank you so much for joining me, mamas. This class is really designed for first and second trimester unless you have this wedge. So I hope you were able to find the support and the props that you need to make this class successful for you. I'll see you in the next workout.